How's it going, world? It's your boy Squeekz. What I'm doing right now is I had actually forgotten that I have to go and get the mission from the pub here, which is where you get all of your missions. That whole going to Giza Plains thing, yeah. Can't do that until after I get this mission. So, just gonna do that real fast. He just described taking items in. You'll get certain quest items that you have to take on onto missions. Like, you might get a mission that requires a certain item. You can't take the mission unless you have the item. Then there's other ones that just, like, give you stat boosts and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on it. But who's gonna quote me anyway? So, basically, now that that's all over with, I'm just gonna take a quick trip up here, see if there's any other missions. Which apparently there are not, so we're all good to go. So now I'm just gonna go over here, make sure that the law is okay. Chivalry in charge. Alright, I don't have to worry about either of those because I don't have anybody who uses either. So let's do this! So it looks like I'm up against 3 blue goblins, a fairy, and a red goblin. Goblins aren't really that big of a deal. They're pretty easy, other than their goblin punches, which can do some massive damage. But at the same time, they don't do really any damage sometimes. This is just the beginning phase. When you start into a battle, you pick where you want to put your clan members. You know, strategize and whatnot. And if you go back to the character, you can always move them if you don't like the position you originally put them in. I like this setup. Always have my ranged / magic users in the back, or as far away from the enemy as possible. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, but in this case, it's all good. Oh, you gotta watch this. Again, this is already pre-recorded, and this is after narration. 40% chance of hitting. Boom! Critical with knockback. Look at that! Take that, you fairy! I bet there's a bunch of you people who wish you could say that on a daily basis. Just punch a fairy in the face, knock him back. Yeah, alright, I'm done. Along with your normal attacks, of course, you have your abilities, which you get from your weapons, some armor too. Like she's wearing a, oh, which I did forget to mention, off camera, I did go and buy new equipment for all of my dudes. And now, I bet all of you are wondering why I just tried to attack my own team member, but missed epically because of that frickin' hammer time shuffle. It's because, as the white mage, especially in this fight, she really doesn't get any experience, so I was trying to do a little bit of damage, it would have did 1 damage. Would have given her some nice experience, and then he would have been perfectly fine. Squeekz is a tank, don't worry about it, trust me, he's a tank. But it missed, sadly, even though I hit from behind with an 89% chance, or something like that. I honestly don't remember exactly what it said, but it was close enough. You'll notice that I use Blizzard most of the time against goblins, and that is because, spoiler alert, Blizzard is super effective against goblins, if I'm not mistaken. That might just be Final Fantasy Tactics that they do that, I'm not entirely sure. You'll also notice how experience fluctuates sometimes, sometimes you might get 10 experience from doing an attack, and other times you might only get 4. It's because of the level difference, whereas I'm fighting level 1 goblins, and Mont Blanc is level 4, so, or level 3 or 4, I think he's 3, but either way, they deduct points off of how much experience you get. That way you're not just hardcore mashing on low-level enemies to try to level up faster. Little fail-safe in the game. Now, in this fight, I have to honestly say that Bianca is just really, really shit out of luck. Really, that's like the best way to put it. Like, no matter what, she just cannot get any experience in this fight. Just a little spoiler, I guess. I'm hoping my Audacity doesn't decide to crash on me, so I don't have to try to re-record this. And it's going to be interesting to hear myself say, I'm hoping that my Audacity doesn't crash so that I have to re-record this. And miss. Hammer time shuffle. I think the funniest thing about this is just the names that they give the monsters are always really messed up, and I saw this one monster through one playthrough I did of this. Oh, wow, it's been a long day. He had like I think a 12 character name, and it was just a mishmash of letters and vowels, and it made no sense whatsoever. Oh yes, thumbs up for actually having game sound. So you can hear the magical effects and slicing goblin gonads off. Thumbs up for slicing gonads. So I'm thinking of just keeping Squeekz as a soldier. I mean, you know, he does pretty well as that. More of my, like I said, he's obviously a tank. He's a tank just because his name is Squeekz. Enough said. Because Squeekz is a tank, but other than that, you know, he's a tanky bruiser for any of you League of Legends fans out there. Thumbs up for League of Legends. But so, like, look at that, Nudimt or Nudimt, or I don't even know how to begin to pronounce that name. So instead, I'm just gonna kill him, because that's the world we live in. If you don't understand something, you just kill it. Oh, and nice little tidbit here. If you go off character and you hit, I believe it is L, you can see the turn order, which comes in handy for figuring out who you want to attack and when, such as preventing someone from getting a turn so that they don't attack your team, as I'm about to do. And if you go off character and hit start, you can look at the laws and everything like that too. Turn order, laws. I'll actually have to wait to bring this back up when I actually do go and do it, which was completely accidental. But hey, gotta learn some way. And I do apologize for the randomness at times, where I'll just kind of jump back and forth quite a bit, trying to decide what I want to do with my character, and, you know, other stuff. Sometimes I just derp out and don't even know what I'm doing, to be completely honest. And she makes a hit. Only one she's gonna get this entire game. I can tell you that now. Spoiler! Well, I can't really say the entire game, but you know what I'm saying. 40%, 48% chance? Nah, of course, you know. Of course it hits. Why wouldn't it? Always have a white mage on your team, or at least if you don't have a white mage because you're further in or whatever, just at least someone who has white magic of some sort. Anyone who can cure, definitely want to have that. I'm not gonna spoil, well, I mean, that's just common sense. You always want to have someone who can heal your team on your team. Excuse me while I light up a cigarette. Ah, that's good lung cancer right there. Hammer Time Shuffle is probably going to be my least favorite person, or my least favorite thing in this game. It's a person now. So we're just going to continue calling it a person. Oh, and here's, because I never did get around to doing this, this is what combos look like. Now, if anyone else had the Battletech combo, well, their own job class specific combo, like equipped, because I found out that you do have to actually learn the combos. They're not just a given thing. But anyway, if anyone else had anyone else standing around the enemy there would have had their combo on, then they would have joined in on that attack. But because he is the only one with the combo ability, he was the only one who did a combo. He's probably going to be my favorite right here. My Banga. I mean, right now he's only a white monk, so, you know, fist weapons, no armor. But he is such, he's just an asshole. That's the best way to describe him. He just owns everything. Hooray! Mission complete! Ah, right here, yeah. I think that's where I got up and had to go. I think that's when I got food, during the actual playthrough. I apologize. No one likes to stare at a screen for long periods of time. In fact, now that I think about it, I should have probably done a bit more editing of this video before I started doing the commentary on it. Oh wow, this is like a 24-minute video too. Whew. Well, I mean, this is what you guys pay for, in a sense. It's free, but you pay in brain cells. After a mission, you see your rewards. You always get action points, which go into your oh yes, that is where you want to put Lucia Pass. As you can see from it vibrating, there's a treasure hunt there. You'll see what I get here in a second, but after a mission you always get your action points, which go to learning abilities. After, you know, you max out an ability, then it's learned and you can switch weapons. Now, right here, you're going to see me derp out a little bit with equipping and then unequipping and then equipping and whatnot. It's because I was trying to figure out what exactly they do, and I couldn't figure it out until I unequipped them and looked at my stats. It raises your defense and resistance, which is why I gave it to Bianca here, because her defenses are terrible. Being an archer and everything, of course, but still. Most of the time after you complete a mission, there will be more missions for you to get, unless you've done all of the mini missions, as I like to call them. Ah yes, this is Dispatch. All the other ones are your actual combat missions. Dispatch missions means that you have to send someone from your team out. Nothing really happens, they're just gone for a certain amount of days. Then you come back to the pub and get them to see if you beat the mission or not. You always see your rewards, any required items you have at the end, brief description of what to be expected, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. I actually don't remember what I was even saying, to be completely honest. Oh, always pay attention to the rank and the price. Higher price means, well, usually means harder mission, but rank is definitely what makes it a harder mission. Oh, as you can see from right there, I do not have a soldier that is a non-main character. The only soldier I have is Squeekz, but he's the main character, so he can't leave just in case you are to get into any battles. He has to be there. Now, I could change Ewer back into a soldier just for the sake of doing that mission, but I already sold all of my spare soldier items, so oh well. But as I remember what I was saying now. When you complete missions, you get new missions most of the time, unless you've done all of the mini missions and you still have to complete the storyline mission, which is usually at least one mission that you will get through the pub is a storyline mission that you have to complete to progress through the game. Such as the herb picking was a storyline mission, hence why there was that cutscene afterwards. But don't always assume that just because there's a cutscene that it's a storyline mission. Just saying. Now, what I usually like to do is split my team up into groups of 3, seeing as how I usually always use only 6, because for most missions you only get to use about 6. But really you can put as many people as there are blue squares. Always remember that. But yeah, I always split my team up into groups of 3 anytime enemies are on either ends of the map. Just because, you know, 3-man team can handle pretty much anything. Especially if you have the right 3-man teams. Such as in this case, my 3-man team going to the left is Bianca, Martinez, and whatever that banga's name is, because I wasn't paying attention. I haven't actually referred to him by name yet. So, with those 3, you have a ranged, you have a bruiser, and then you have the healer. So then my right team is obviously Squeekz, Montblanc, and Ewer, which is a thief who's pretty agile, able to avoid attacks really easily. My tanky bruiser, Squeekz, of course, and then my mage, Montblanc. This is just what I recommend, because it works out pretty well, but, you know, feel free to do whatever you want. If you want to go and just gangbang one person, feel free to do so. It's all up to you. And with bombs, you always want to try to kill bombs as fast as you can. Especially when they, you know, get to that injured state where they would go down on one knee, but seeing as how they're just floating balls of fire, frickin' hammer time. Well, anyway, once they get down really low health, they will go and explode, which does massive amounts of damage in an area. So, kill them as fast as you can, especially when they get low health. And yes, that is why I had Squeekz facing away from the bomb, is because I knew Montblanc was going to finish him off no problem. There's a method to my madness, so don't question me. Basil, that's it. Alright, I will remember that, I promise. I will eventually know my entire team like the back of my hand. Ooh, 39% chance. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hammer time! Not gonna go there. Copyright. And this is why I always use boost, because Bianca also has very low damage. And that boost gives a nice, like, 10 points in damage. Normally that attack would have did, like, 10 damage. But in that case, it did 21. Yes, they do have ranged attacks themselves, but, you know, nothing really major. Oh, always watch out for elements, too. As of, like, the bombs, they're fire types. So you don't want to use fire magic against them, or else you'll just heal them. ice attacks would be your best because that does the most damage, and thunder is just like average. Don't be afraid to spam your skills too. Like if you see someone take 3 points of damage and you may not want to heal them just for the oh, I don't want to waste my mana. You get mana every turn. Or here I am calling it mana, MP. You recharge MP every turn, but health you do not recharge every turn. So it gives you experience and you'll just get the MP back anyway, so there's really no point in being afraid of spamming. Spam away, I say. And this is why Basil is my favorite. Says, oh, you know, he'll do 20 damage. Like, bitch, please, I'll do 22. Also, don't ever be afraid to attack an enemy from the front. I mean, if that's the only thing you can do, don't waste a turn waiting, unless you really do want to. I personally don't, especially in the early games, well, in these early missions like such, because there's really no point to it. I would rather try to hit and miss than just stand in front of him like a retard and wait. But that's me personally. Magic works the same. Well, things that you'll notice is that you don't always have to be to the side of someone to be able to get better accuracy on hitting them. Sometimes you just have to literally be out of their line of sight. Such as, I'm to the side of him, but not 100%. But just enough to where he can't really see me as well as he would if I was standing, like, way out in the open next to that dead bomb. This is why I don't like archers, for this reason coming up right here. It's in range, there's a 50% chance of hitting, but it just completely misses altogether and hits a wall. Honestly, that's why I usually change that class from the archer to the fencer. But at the same time, I'm trying to get a certain job class, and archer is required for it. So I was thinking, might as well just get out of the way in the beginning while the enemies are weak, and I don't have to worry about that kind of crap happening when I really don't need it happening. Do 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 do. This is why I love Thieves right here, is that high jump ability. Most characters wouldn't actually be able to jump that high. And then there's that too. Okay, you see how that bomb is right there? How he's like smoking and stuff? That's pre-explosion. He won't try to run and hide like most of the enemies. He'll just bum rush as many enemies. If there's if he's standing next to one person and there's a clump of 3 like in his range, he'll go over to the group of 3 and then blow himself up. Deal massive amounts of damage. You want to avoid that at all costs. Especially late game. And right here you can get a better understanding of what I mean by being out of someone's field of sight. If I would have tried to hit him from where I was, it would have been only a 50% chance, and now it's a 75. That percent chance of hitting is everything. But, alright, we are getting near the end of this video. Excuse me there for a second. So yes, as you'll see, after the mission, you get your rewards and blah blah blah. But, like I said, as always, this has been your boy Squeekz. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.